Chapter 13 circumstance, are you just paying off the debt? What's getting discharged then at that
Well,
point?
but you have to. So the thing is, Chapter 13, right? It's so basically you have a plan, like you have a debt percentage you pay off, right? So generally, as an attorney, you want to shoot to for 100% of the debt paid off. You literally have to put the percentage of debt paid off in your plan, right? But sometimes it may be less than that. Sometimes it may be 50%. And if the trustee has a problem with the percentage, the trustee says, well, they should get more money or this should be done differently, then they're not going to recommend confirmation. But this is what you said, like kind of like what you said before, right? You can actually get a very favorable deal in the end if you, let's say if you have to pay 50 or 60% of your debt off as opposed to 100%.
And what?
So I'm just gonna add something really quickly. So like, let's say you have lots of credit cards and your mortgage takes the entire equity of your house and everything else is exempt. So you're not gonna be paying the credit cards back at all because they're gonna get discharged. You're not gonna be paying 100% if your income is low enough. So if you don't have too many assets and your mortgage just takes the whole equity of the house, most of the unsecured debt, which is like credit cards and stuff, are gonna get discharged, even in the 13. So that can be beneficial for you.
Okay.
There's a lot of other like very small. You can get liens discharged, liens that are on a house. In the 13, sometimes you can also get a second mortgage completely discharged and declare it to be not discharged, but declare it to be unsecured, and you won't have to pay it back. And there are things like that.
So I guess this seems like the important part. How are these choices made? Like what's the meat and potatoes of that aspect?
It's just the numbers, like everything, like your income, the assets. Every case is individual. We have to go over your income, your spouse's income, and whoever, and all over your assets. See if you have any, too many assets and stuff like that. And then we combine the numbers together, and we look at the numbers, and we can see if that's doable or not.
No, exactly. But it's some of this stuff is super important because just like what Alex was alluding to, right? So let's say if you have a second mortgage and you don't have any equity left, then the amount of the mortgage that exceeds whatever equity or exceeds whatever equity you have left in the home or the value of the home basically becomes like a credit card debt. So let's say if you're only paying 50% of your credit card debt back, that part of the mortgage, you would only pay 50% of that back. So you can get a pretty good deal on that. And then
what does that mean? Like I don't
all right.
So you go.
I'm sorry.
No.
So let's say, very simple. Let's say your home is worth $500,000.
Okay.
You have a first mortgage for $400,000. You have a second mortgage for $200,000. So you have $600,000 in what we call secured debt because it's secured by the house, right? Mm-hmm. So let's say you have a 50% plan, right? So that first mortgage is $400,000. So it can all be paid back with the sale of the home, right? So that's secured debt. But that second mortgage, because the home's only worth $500,000, that first $100,000 is secured, so that has to be paid back fully. But that second $100,000, right, that exceeds the value of the home, that goes into the unsecured pot. So like a credit card. So if you're only paying 50% of the credit cards, you only have to pay 50% of that $100,000. So basically, you could essentially get a $50,000 discount on it, on the home.
And there's so many little things that you can do in bankruptcy that people don't like. That works for a car too. If you bought a brand new truck for $50,000, and 2 years later you barely made a dent and you still owe 45, but the truck is only worth $20,000 now. You file for bankruptcy, you can do a motion to change how much the truck is worth. So from 45 you can get it down to 20, and you'll only owe 20 on it, and then you save 35. Again, all of this is like fact specific, depends on your income, depends on everything else. But you can do that with a car as well and bring the value down of whatever you own a car.
Okay.
And adding on to that, just a quick thing. Also in Chapter 7s, when you get a discharge in Chapter 7, you're no longer personally liable for that debt. So let's say that truck goes down to $20,000 in value and you still owe 45 or 50 on it. You could say, you know what? I don't want the truck anymore. I'm not paying $45,000 on a $20,000 truck. Here, bank, take it back, right? And and if you do that in other circumstances, they can come after you for that remaining amount because they can't sell it for 45 anymore. They can only sell it for 20.
Okay.
After you file a bankruptcy and get a discharge, you get a personal discharge. That's what we call it too. They can't come back for you. Come back for that debt. So basically, even like a house, right? You can get a personal discharge against a house. You could literally walk away. You could say, this house is worth $80,000 and I owe $300,000 on it. I don't care about this anymore. I'm going to file Chapter 7, get a personal discharge. Bank, sell it if you can, but you can't come after me for the debt anymore.
And then because obviously people say the benefit of doing a bankruptcy is your credit score and stuff like that start to recover. How does that factor in?
But like the people who come to us, they want to file. The credit score is already in the toilet. Like the credit score, I tell them, yeah, your credit score is already so bad. Like it can't get any worse. So how is bankruptcy going to impact you? You're already like as low as it can be. And then we talk about like things you can do if you want to improve your credit. Yeah, post bankruptcy you need to work on it. You need to work on all your payments. But if your credit score is great, generally you wouldn't come. I mean, there are exceptions, of course, but generally you wouldn't come to file for bankruptcy.